What's going on, boys? Good morning. How's everybody?
Good morning.
I heard Drabby doing some small talk with you, our producer. You're a Spartan, Michigan State, and he was asking if it was a tough day for you watching the Wolverines. I looked at your Twitter, and you were likening Michigan to Kansas. I guess the whole cheating thing. I guess you didn't.
Well,
not
yeah.
a fan.
I mean, no, they're scumbags. They're the worst. It's one thing when you cheat, but then it's another when you're just egregious about it, and then you turn around and act like a collection of unholy bleep holes. So yeah, it's really like the holy trinity. It's something to behold up here. That's all I can tell you.
Oh man,
What's Harbaugh like? Following him closely.
I mean, he's a nut. He's insane. I don't know another way to describe it. And look, the fact is, what he did at the podium the other night, I mean, it was absurd. Oh, we're innocent.
right?
I mean, give me a break. That's like me telling you the sky's purple. I mean, stop. Just please. Your own school suspended you for 3 games because you illegally were out there recruiting J.J. McCarthy. And then the Big Ten gave you a little glimpse behind the curtain of the evidence they had. Weird how your highly publicized lawsuit got launched into space. Just stop. Don't bleep on my head and tell me it's raining. So, look, this whole thing with him and the NFL, I would never in a million years hire him to run my franchise. He's crazy.
Yeah, the word I've seen kicked around for him is just chaos. Like if you let him into the building, chaos just ensues.
Getting chaos. Yeah. Now listen. Let me make sure I say. Is he a good coach? Sure he is. But you're in a sea of good coaches. Do you really want what you just said coming to your doorstep? And when you look at it, yes, they just won the Natty. He's leaving Michigan in complete chaos.
Yeah.
They're under dual NCAA investigations. They're going to get hammered. And he left Stanford. Same deal. He left the Niners. He burned every bridge he had. I don't know. If I'm an NFL franchise, I'm a billionaire. I'm not taking orders from my head coach. If you're Bill Belichick, you want to slide some rings across the table, maybe. But it's just an odd dynamic. I mean, will someone hire him? He's just hired Don Yee, Brady's old agent, maybe. And he is a good coach, but you're right. I mean, you're really opening Pandora's box when you bring him in your building. He's a different cat.
Are you just praying that like 3 or 4 years down the road, the title that he just won gets vacated because of all?
No, because I already got the gift of just being able to not validate it. That's the best part. So I don't really care what the NCAA does. I said to listeners yesterday, I go, look, you can do whatever you want, dance around, celebrate, but just don't play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Don't come up here and tell me you're innocent. Don't do what the coach did. You admit you cheated, but you don't care. We're good. I'll buy you a beer. You don't have to care. I've never asked fans to care. But what kills me, they are the only university in America who actually thinks they're on a higher plane than everyone else. No. Your players have 2.0 GPAs too coming in. You're not on some higher academic vortex. Just stop. We do it with integrity. We don't do what the SEC does. Yes, you do. We all do. So, if you drop the facade, we're good.
Yeah, I heard
really
somebody complaining about Michigan fans. Like, I don't know many Michigan fans. I might know one. My buddy's brother went to Michigan. But who are worse in your eyes, Notre Dame fans or Michigan fans?
Michigan fans.
Yeah.
Not even a doubt. It's not even close.
Yeah.
But again, you got to remember where I went to school now.
Right.
It's Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yeah.
It's not a pretty deal. So yeah, no, by far.
They are. I'll just say this, Mike, just from watching Michigan fans come into Maryland's football stadium a few times over the last few years, they are an entitled bunch. they just feel like they are also 5 rungs above you.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Which is amazing considering about 95% of the fan base never went to school there and couldn't find the campus with 2 hands and a flashlight. It's a real fun trick.
So, Mike, I think you've been doing radio about as long as us, and we always lament that we've just had no success with the football team here. We've been doing the show for 27 years and barely ever make the playoffs. No, 10-win seasons, please. It never happens. And I was looking at the coaches that you've dealt with and the success rate. I mean, Marty Morningweg, Mariucci came in, failed, Marinelli, Jim Schwartz. The last few, Bevel, Patricia, horrible. And then Dan Campbell came in, and I could tell you, Cakes ridiculed him and thought he was going to be a complete failure.
Oh, I thought he was 2 seasons at most, then he'd be thrown overboard.
He has revitalized it. Tell us about Campbell and the turnaround.
Well, we all felt that way. And you know what? You weren't wrong. I mean, look, don't ever forget. Look, a year and some winning changes a lot. They were 1-6 and staring down the barrel of, I think it was the Dolphins, Cowboys, and Bills coming to town for Thanksgiving. And if they didn't start turning it around, think about it, guys. He was set to be about 4-20 as a head coach, and no coach with that record has ever been given a third season, ever. But they did turn it around. No, I think at the start of it, we all viewed him as a little bit cartoony. The biting the kneecaps and putting the racing helmet on and, you know, this is my coffee order. And we're like, is this dude, like, this is going to cut one of two ways. He's going to be fantastic or it's going to fail fantastically. And it's been the prior. And look, he is who he is, which I respect. Like, that's him. He's intense. He's about it. His players love him. But we do this bit where there's Dan Campbell and Dan Gamble because he is Maverick. I mean, he'll defy analytics, which drives me crazy because I don't understand how you're telling me mathematically we are going to be married to it. You know, we're going to give ourselves a 2.5% win differential edge. But then the next decision, you'll see him from the 7 in Dallas going for 2, the negative 14 win percent differential. But, I mean, it's something, man. You got to strap in watching this guy because, hey, we're faking a punt from our own 24. Sick. You know, we're passing up points. We're throwing flea flickers on 4th and 3. I mean, you get your money's worth. That's all I can tell you.
Mike, how do you feel about the decision to play all the guys on Sunday, even though, I mean, I know they were trying to go for the 2 seed, but they needed the Cowboys to lose, and the Commanders, there was 0% chance the Commanders were going to win that game. So the Cowboys weren't going to lose, but, you know, Laporta gets hurt. You can update us on that injury.
Yeah.
I think Branch got hurt too. I mean, that was an important decision going for that 2 seed. How did you feel as a fan?
Yeah, look, for me, I think you have to know, all right, who's the coach, what kind of program we're running here. I said, look, he's going to play his guys, so I'm not going to, have my head explode yelling and screaming at the sky to sit everybody. This is who he is. I also think, fellas, that you got to kind of earn the right to rest your players. And what I mean by that is, who the hell are the Lions? They're nobody. And this is your first taste of success. You're not the Ravens. You haven't been doing it with John Harbaugh for 15 years. You're not the Niners. You're not a consistent Super Bowl threat. You earn it. Go play your last game. Get the wagon wheels back on. Get the taste out of your mouth from the Dallas, ridiculous end of that game. I said play him. I did. So guilty as charged. I can't criticize it. When Laporta went down, my heart stopped. I'm like,
what's his status?
Not this team. Not this way. Look, he avoided the worst of it.
Okay.
I'll be shocked if he plays this weekend. I mean, it's an MCL. I think there's a bone bruise. It's days, not weeks, months, but that's a tough turnaround.
Right.
If they can win, do I think you see him for the divisional round? Yeah, probably. Certainly for the NFC title game. I'd be stunned if he played this weekend.
Talking to Mike Valenti.
Yeah, he's a big part. Yep.
Mike Valenti hosts a show 2 to 6 with Rico on the Ticket in Detroit. So we wanted to have you on to get a little insight on a couple of the guys who the Commanders are supposedly interested in hiring. Now, everybody seems to be interested in hiring Ben Johnson, but Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, both of those guys on the list here for the Commanders. Fill us in on both of those guys and what makes them special.
Yeah, let me go with the far more realistic one to me, which is Ben Johnson. So, first of all, and look, the argument will be, well, if you draft good players, it makes a coordinator look good. All I would argue is anyone who comes to Detroit to play for Ben Johnson in his scheme gets better. I mean, Jamal Williams, 17 touchdowns last year, milk carton this year. You bring in a Josh Reynolds, career back on track. You bring in Goff, revival. David Montgomery looks like the dude the Bears drafted out of Iowa State. Sam Laporta might be the best young tight end in football. Launches Amon-Ra St. Brown's career. So you're going to get really aggressive, good hard play action on first down, tons of intermediate shots. They lead the league in passes of over 20 yards. So you're not going to get the 60 and 70 yarders, but tons of intermediate, aggressive, attacking routes. The run scheme is diverse. It's awesome. Tons of pre-snap candy. Uses everybody. He's really good. If you want a weakness, it would be this year. The red zone play calling's been a little sketchy. There's been some things where you're like, now again, though, how much of that comes down to knowing I've got 4 downs to use because the Lions just refuse to kick field goals ever. I think Ben Johnson's awesome. I think if you could land him, get him. I mean, the Commanders with the skill players you guys already have, yeah, certainly got to fix the O-line and find a QB, but like the skill players are there. Ben Johnson's a stud. It's going to stink when he leaves, but that's who I would target.
So what about Aaron Glenn?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done an okay job, and I don't want to be too hard on him, but there's not the talent on offense that there is on defense. But there's something here, fellas, when Aaron Glenn faces a good quarterback, it's like the dropping a plate of dishes on the floor. You're just like, what has just happened here? What am I watching? I mean, Nick Mullins just threw for basically 800 yards in 2 games. I just think he needs more talent to be evaluated appropriately. I wouldn't put him anywhere near the Ben Johnson tier of guys. Like, if I don't know how you guys feel. Is Ben Johnson a popular choice by the fans? Is that someone they want, or do they want a big name?
Yeah,
No,
because
they want Ben
Johnson. They want an offensive guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a stud. I'd hire him tomorrow.
Isn't Aaron Glenn the guy that won that poll though?
Yeah, he did.
Like of all the players,
the NFLPA players,
right?
Favorite defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's great, but I'm also looking at results. Right. And guys, I'm with you. It's an offensive league. I get very skittish hiring a defensive-minded coach in 2024.
With you, 100%.
Right.
So, how do you feel about this weekend? You're going against a really good offense, a really good. By the way, Kyron Williams. I mean, we were talking about for next year's fantasy and draft. I mean, he's going to be a first-round pick based on
top 10 player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
And then you're facing a good quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I mean, I'll be straight with you. Now, again, for me, it's easier because I'm from New York. I'm a Giants fan. I can look at things with the Lions on the even. You know, like, what did I just say about facing good QBs? Lions also struggle to get pressure. You know, you'll see a splashy highlight of Aiden Hutchinson, but it's like, all right, before the last 2 weeks, Aiden had 5 sacks. 5. He got to face the worst right tackle in football in Steele in Dallas, and then Minnesota was missing the right side of their O-line last week. I don't want to get carried away like all of a sudden we have a pass rush. So if you're not going to get to him, and I've got one corner, that's worth a damn in Sutton, and you got Nakua, Cooper, I mean, I get nervous. I think if the Lions are going to win this thing, it's got to be in a shootout. They got to get up and down the field. They got to control TOP. But here's the interesting thing, fellas. I get super nervous with Dan Campbell's playoff debut. Is he going to be the guy at the craps table? Is he going to be just shaking the dice?
Right.
Or is he going to dial it back? And now it's this synthetic response to, well, I can't be who I was all season. This is the playoff. See, I need to see that. And there's not much experience on this team. There's not. So,
Mike,
I'm nervous.
How insane is the scene going to be at Ford Field with Stafford coming back?
God.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. Nighttime game.
It's going to be the Thunderdome. It's going to be insane. I mean, look, I feel so bad for these people. Like, I want it so bad for them. And I've been saying since last February, you're going to win this division and you're going to win a home playoff game. Like, they're building it right. For years, I've told you how bad your team is. Just believe in what I'm telling you. You're good. This is a good football team. It'll break my heart if they don't get this done for these people.
And what a hat tip
the
to
Lions,
the front office. This latest draft, Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 touchdowns. Laporta found the end zone 10 times.
Yeah.
You got 2 defensive studs thrown in there as well with Branch and Campbell at linebacker. They crushed it in the draft.
They have. It's all there. And look, you win with the tip of the sword. The O-line, D-line. Now, the D-line's got some catching up to do, but there are pieces there. Like, no one knows who the hell Aleem McNeil is, but he's been one of the 5 best defensive tackles according to Pro Football Focus. You know, getting him back is going to help them immensely. Aiden Hutchinson's a really good football player, but it's not the finished product. So I think they're going to give up some chunk plays. I think Stafford's going to have a good day. Remember, it's indoors. Stafford indoors versus Stafford outside. It's a whole different ballgame. I could see this like a 34-31 kind of deal. I think it's going to be wild. I'll be shocked if either defense gets stops.
How did the Lions do against the run most of the year?
Awesome. Elite.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll largely take – I don't want to say take Kyron away because he's such a physical runner, but they'll limit it. They're really good against the run. It's what they do. It's what they prioritize. But, whoa, buddy.
Against
they
the
get
pass.
victimized through the air. Oh, my God. It's It's something to behold. You'll see guys with no one around them.
Puka liftoff.
So the total's 51 and a hook. You like the over, obviously.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy in a playoff game. I kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't go nuts with it. Like my favorite. I mean, if we're talking about picks and stuff like that.
Yes,
fellas,
we are.
How do you not take the Browns? How do you not do it? Texans not going to run the ball.
I like that too.
You're going to drop CJ back 40 times. Oh, okay. Please. I don't see it. I don't think they deserve to win the game last week. I think the Browns that defense is wicked. Browns might be my favorite one of the weekend.
I kind of like the Rams Cowboys in a tease. So you're getting the Rams plus about 10 and you're getting the Cowboys just to win. I'd love it.
Yeah, no, I like the way you're thinking. Yeah.
I'm a great gambler. I don't know what to tell you. I'm fantastic at it.
His brilliance is on full display for all of us to enjoy.
You got it.
Mike, man, always fun talking to you. It's Mike Valenti.
Of course.
Thank
2 to
you, buddy.
6.
Hey, if the Lions go to the NC Championship game, you're coming right back on the show, buddy.
Done. Whatever you guys need. Anytime, fellas.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks so much,
Appreciate
Mike.
it, bud.
I thought
You
we've
got it,
had
boys.
it bad,
Enjoy.
but I was looking. So he broke in 2004. This is what he's dealt with. Steve Mariucci is the head coach of the Lions.
Mooch.
He won 34% of his games there. Dick Geron for a year went 5-11. Rod Marinelli, 10-38.
Big loser.
Then Jim Schwartz came in, 29-51-0, 36%. Caldwell actually won games with them.
Yep.
Bevel 1-4, Matt Patricia 13-29, and then finally have hit with
That's
Dan
one
Campbell.
head coach that I did hit on. I told you he was a stooge.
Which one?
Patricia.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I missed on a few lately, but I hit on that dude.